Hi everybody, this is a low production value video. So in the Facebook group this morning, I had somebody post a question about marriage, divorce, and whether or not to keep her married name or her maiden name. And I posted a response to her there, and it got me thinking, and I want to put this out on my channel, more publicly intended video. If you haven't joined the group, go to Facebook. It's Narcissistectomy, same spelling as the channel, or you can go down to the description, click the link in there, unless I forgot to put it in the description, in which case just comment and tell me. I'm a space cadet. I do that. Anyways, so I want to bring this up because after the relationship with the narcissist, whenever you're trying to move forward, it can be very, very disorienting. One of the larger challenges, I think, is when you're with somebody who's like a narcissist, chances are good you're codependent, and chances are also good that you're drawing some of your identity from being with them, right? So they're grandiose, they're larger than life. Seems like they got all their ducks in a row. They're popular, or they're good looking, or they're king of the castle, whatever their shtick is, right? More times than not, you're basically like, hey, I'm with awesome. So the metaphor I gave then is you don't really have a full identity as an individual. You're kind of sort of more like the sidekick, like Robin to Batman. Who's Robin? The sidekick that occasionally shows up, but nobody really cares. There's sort of just, I mean, there's not a Robin comic book, you know? Nobody ever says, oh, thank God Robin showed up. Robin, please save me, Robin, right? He's clearly the submissive one, right? So Batman's the boss. And so after the breakup of Batman and Robin, well, Robin's got to strike out on his own and find his own identity, and that's, chances are that's you, and it's not so easy sometimes, especially when you're trying to go no contact, you know?
Oh, God, yes.
So that's kind of sort of the situation a lot of people find themselves in. So how do you move past that? Well, I'm going to give you a different metaphor using another movie, and that is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You're Captain Jack Sparrow. You're the captain of your own ship, the Black Pearl or the Bob or Karen. Whatever your name is, you're the captain of your own ship. You're the captain. You're the one sailing it, you're the one steering it, you're the one drinking the rum and whatever debauchery comes with the pirates, I don't know. In any case, you're the captain of your own ship. You're not a crew member. You used to be a crew member of somebody else's ship. Now you're the captain. And what a lot of people tend to do in trying to find their way, what do I do now? You know, how do I move forward? A lot of people tend to reach out to their friends, their trusted friends, family. I know I did. I mean, it's pretty damn common when you're in a low spot to reach out for your support if you have it, wherever you can find it. And something interesting happens psychologically. And whenever I say interesting, I mean probably not all that good for you, but not all that bad. You have to be aware of it and manage it. When you start reaching out to friends and family, it's well documented that we are psychologically the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. Provided you know 5 people and spend time with that many people. I know I don't. I can barely handle more than a few. Now, if you've been around a narcissist, chances are your first round picks in the draft probably weren't all stellar. You probably picked a couple of toxic people that turned out to be flying monkeys. Understanding that you're the psychological average of all these people, that means you're probably going to pick up some toxicity yourself. This is overwhelmingly apparent in some of these very, very close, tight-knit bonds where you say, oh, you know, he or she's crazy, but I love her. She's loyal. He's loyal. You know, he's the one who shows up. He's always got your back. He's crazy, but I love him. She's crazy, but I love her. Just don't let her get near your car when she's got her car keys in her hands like Wolverine, because she will key the living shit out of it. So, those people, whether you realize it or not, you're going to absorb some of those toxic traits. The whole crazy butt part. So you got to be very, very careful about that, because you got to be very careful who you pick to be in your crew on your pirate ship, especially when you're a brand new pirate captain. No pirate ship ever did well with a crew full of fucktards.
No pirate ship ever did well with a crew full of fucktards.
Fucktards, 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 fucktards. Okay? Choose your company very carefully, because they're going to be the ones to guide you. In terms of asking people for their input, their advice, what do they think, what should I do, that kind of stuff. You have to understand that that's really that does you more harm than good. It does you more harm than good. The more you start trying to spread out and get all these different opinions and then try to take the average, the crazier you're gonna go. Excuse me. The crazier you're gonna go. The crazier you're gonna go. The crazier you're gonna go. And you're gonna go crazy because, well, you can't please everybody all the time, and all those people are in your crew. So, from the perspective of the captain doesn't really walk around the ship asking the crew, hey, so what star do you think I should follow? Ooh, that's a pretty one. What do you think of that star? Should we follow that star? They'd be like, I don't know. Aren't you you're the captain? I don't know. That one looks cool. I don't know. Should you follow that one? Maybe. I don't know. Oh, thanks. That does look like a good star. And then your crewman's like, oh, God. Right? You know, you have to be careful with who you get advice from, and just getting advice in general, because ultimately everybody else in your crew moonlights as a captain of their own ship, right? So at that point my metaphor kind of breaks down a little bit, but you get the idea. Because whenever people come to you for advice, what do you say? Oh, you should definitely do this, you should definitely do that, right? You should definitely consider everything I'm telling you and do the things that I'm telling you that you should do. Because that's how you're used to getting through life. That's what you've heard from the people around you. But that's really not good to be telling people that stuff. It's really not good for you, and it's not good for them. You can say, this is my opinion, and this is what I would do. But then you must turn it around. You have to turn it around on them and say, well, why don't you tell me more about what it is you're trying to accomplish? It's called the Socrates Method, Socratic Method, right? Bill and Ted, Socrates, right? Socratic Method, something like that. And that's where you help somebody come to a conclusion by asking questions. So when people come to you for advice, you say, well, why are you asking me this? What's going on? Why don't you tell me more about your life? I'm listening. Because what this does, this forces people to explain the problem. There's something funny about when you have to explain the problem, then suddenly you magically understand it. So, and what is a problem? A problem is something that you don't understand and are having trouble solving, right? So that's the definition of a problem. So, to solve the problem, by explaining it, you have to explain it in terms that you understand and somebody else understands. And in the process of doing that, suddenly they understand and you understand. And then it's not a problem anymore because now you understand it. There's something funny about when you have to explain the problem, then suddenly you magically understand it. There's something funny about when you have to explain the problem, then suddenly you magically understand it. A problem is something that you don't understand and are having trouble solving. A problem is something that you don't understand and are having trouble solving. By explaining it, you have to explain it in terms that you understand and somebody else understands. By explaining it, you have to explain it in terms that you understand and somebody else understands. And in the process of doing that, suddenly they understand and you understand. And then it's not a problem anymore because now you understand it. That's the way you give advice. You don't give advice by talking about you. You give advice by asking the right questions. And that steers them to the conclusion. That's real advice. I think they call that shrinking, and I think therapists do that too. It's better because when somebody comes to ask you for advice, they're not asking you for your input. They're asking you for their input in their life. And so you have to hold up a mirror and reflect that back to them so they can analyze their own life, right? Now, the topic that we talked about this morning in the group was she was conflicted over whether or not to keep her married name even after the divorce or go back to her maiden name. And she had a well thought out case for keeping it, and a well thought out case for changing it back to her maiden name. It was it's quite the dilemma. And so I want to share the metaphor that I gave for this situation because I think it's good. As a woman, your married name, it's a lot like a tattoo that you have to write on paper. So it's not tattooed to your skin. It's not written on your skin. It's a tattoo you have to summon on command and on official documents, right? So it's the same thing as getting having your ex's name tattooed on you. It's really not all that pleasant every time you write it, but it's also not so pleasant to go back to writing your maiden name either. So, what do you do? And so you start asking, input and advice from all your friends, your pirate ship crew, and as if on cue, they're for against it, right? And that just spins you in a circle. So my take on maiden names, married names, and it's like a tattoo. And just like a tattoo, anybody who gets one, if they end up getting a tattoo they regret, they have two choices. They can get it removed, or they can keep the tattoos because they tell a story. And there's definitely both of those types of tattoo people in the world. There's the people that get a really stupid tattoo, like I got a target tattooed on my back. That was pretty dumb, right? And so they get it removed. But then there's other people that get a tattoo that signifies a significant event in their life, or maybe not so significant. Maybe they go and they get a dumb tattoo like a target on their back, and then they're like, yeah, that was a dumb tattoo. I was young and stupid, but that's part of my story and I'm keeping it, right? You have two mindsets, or two available options. And there's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. And that's what you have to realize coming out of a relationship with a narcissist, because you're used to the splitting. You're used to the false dichotomies and the black and the white, the good and the bad, correct and incorrect. Those frames oversimplify the world tremendously to the point it's not functional. And that's one reason why you have difficulty functioning in a world that's not dichotomous, right? Because it's so tempting to take a dichotomous view of everything, because it's simple. Yes, no, true, false, on, off, black, white. It gives you an excuse to not think, and it also gives you an excuse to feel superior because you're wrong, and if you're wrong, I guess I'm right. That was easy. All I had to do was show that you're wrong, and that makes me correct, or more correct, right? So that's one of the temptations, but life is just not like that. It's just not like that. And with the married name thing, I said, if you feel strongly for it, keep it. It's easier. All you have to do is not order some forms and write your name on them, Or, if it's really just something that you don't want anymore, change your name back. You can always change it again, You can change your name to whatever you want. At any time, pretty much. You can even change your gender now, apparently. That's going to be fun. Maybe I should identify as a female, right? Or a tree. I got the shirt for it. So yeah, getting back to everything, you're now swimming in a sea of gray, right? Because even black and white's not black and white. I love this analogy. Black and white's not even black and white. Ever seen a black and white photo? It's not black and white. It's 65,000 shades of gray, actually. So even the black and white picture, is far more complex than you would have ever guessed once you start really diving into the details of a black and white photo. Yeah, there's about 65,000 individual shades of gray in a black and white photo. I think it's depending on the color depth and the whatever bit grayscale you're on, but I'm digressing. So that's it, man. You're sailing, right? The world is your ocean, and in sailing, there's no hard start, hard stop. There's no straight path to anywhere. You blow with the wind, and you adapt to the wind, and you adjust to the wind, and you have a rough idea of, I'm gonna go somewhere that way. I'm gonna follow that star, which is spinning across the sky. I'll get there eventually, you know? That's the attitude you gotta have. You're sailing, you're drifting, you're blowing with the wind, you got a general idea of where you're going, but you gotta relax a lot, and you gotta make small corrections. And sometimes the wind stops, and you just gotta be patient and just sit there and chill. Maybe pet a dolphin or a turtle, and wait for the wind to kick back up and hope the wind doesn't blow in your face, because then that kind of sucks, because you gotta move backwards a little bit. Or if you're a decent sailor, I don't know if you can even sail in the wind. I don't know. I really don't know that much about sailing, so I'm just gonna shut up. You get the idea. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, please join the group. It's where we can have more discussions in a more structured setting, I think. And who knows, maybe I'll start trying to do watch parties or a Facebook Live or something soon. I've never really played around with these advanced features, so if you know something about all of that, sound off in the comments, help me out. Help a dude out. So thanks again. Please like, comment, or share. I'll see you on the next video. The crazier you're gonna go. The crazier you're gonna go. Fucktards. Okay? So, the crazier you're gonna go. Fucktards.